Garcia, you gotta go, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta go.
The reason that so many of your neighbors are standing behind the recall of Mayor Robert Garcia is because when we gave the mayor the reasons why he shouldn't be in office, he said things like this. If by modernizing the Long Beach airport, the mayor means that he spent $80 million on a facelift, only to lose our flagship airline, JetBlue, that's right, JetBlue is leaving LGB. They're out of here on a one-way flight to LAX. And that's horrible news for Long Beach. That's 40% of the airport's revenue gone. But it's not just that JetBlue is leaving town. They're also leaving Long Beach locals with the bill. And that's just not fair. In 2017 alone, JetBlue owed over $1 million in fines. The mayor didn't collect them. But you see, it doesn't work that way for you and me. We're racking up tickets all the time because of the horrible parking crisis in Long Beach. Maybe even your car's been towed. Do you think the mayor is going to let you off the hook? Yeah, there's a double standard. But what this is really about are values. The reason we want the mayor recalled is because any Long Beach resident can be shot in the back 6 times by police officers, be unarmed, on a mistaken identity. Internal Affairs cannot ask that officer one question. In fact, even the DA can't ask that officer one question. We just take the officer's word for it. They write a report, and that's the gospel.
But in the Long Beach Police Department, they have a standing rule. That officer shall not be interviewed. That officer shall not be interviewed audio or video. That officer shall be sat down and directed to write a report of what happened. So nobody's asking questions. That's in their policy manual. And surprisingly enough, also in their policy manual is the fact that they have an agreement with the Los Angeles District Attorney, Jackie Lacey, that the district attorney investigators will not interview their officers. So you tell me what the adequacy of an investigation is going to be when the investigators investigating can't speak to the person who pulled the trigger.
Imagine if the officer who killed George Floyd was not filmed with all of those iPhones. He could have just written his report in Long Beach, and there would be no questions asked. Mayor Garcia doesn't want to talk about these sort of substantive issues. No, he'd rather talk about how he spent our taxpayer money, $80 million on a facelift to the airport, instead of talking about the $31 million in settlements that he paid for police. Just because he takes a lot of money from the Long Beach Police Officers Association every time he puts a measure up, or any time he's running for re-election. It doesn't take a lot of courage to spend $80 million on a facelift, but it does take a lot of integrity to tell your biggest donor, you know what? My local taxpayers are not paying $31 million for bad apple cops. Instead, we're gonna make sure you get this right. Change policies, because that's the right thing to do. And that's the sort of mayor we need. That's the mayor we deserve. For Long Beach, a leader with integrity.
We marched in these streets because we wanted the police to be held accountable. And as long as you, if you're black, if you're white, if you're Latino, you can be shot in the back 6 times by the Long Beach police. And not once will the DA, the district attorney, will not interview that officer. Internal Affairs will not interview that officer. But if you won't stand up for the